Okay, now that I have, I know that I'm happy with the chair's movement and the skeleton's movement. I took everything apart. I just started painting the bottom plywood piece, and I ended up using, if you look at this is, there's a threaded rod under here that's attached to the back. It's just a threaded carriage bolt that comes up, and then I put a piece of half-inch copper, just regular plumbing, copper plumbing tube in there, and then I put just a nut on the top of it so it holds everything down. It's nice and secure. So then I'll paint that black here in a minute. So it shouldn't stick out too much, but it'll keep the chair in place and should be relatively quiet operation. Okay, so I got the skeleton and the rocking chair put back together. Everything still seems to be operating correctly. I did do a little work in the skull here, and I'll show you the Pico Talk installed with the servo. One note here, if you get one of these, you have to probably end up taking a trip to a hobby store. I tried to find or come up with some kind of linkage for the mouth control. If you notice this right here, that linkage. I just went to the hobby store, and if you go in RC cars, you can find that linkage. It's just basically two little threaded swivel bolts that attach with a threaded rod. So there's that. I've already tested it. Everything looks good. I'm going to find out some way to figure out how to put the top of the skull back on, but I'll give you another look at this mount I made here. Just a piece of angle aluminum, just a bent aluminum right here, and I just used some little small L brackets in this area, and everything seemed to fit in there pretty good. Still got some work to do back here. I put the Boot Tunes box in there, so getting towards the end here. Okay guys, just before I put the finishing touches on the skeleton and rocking chair, I want to give you guys an update and kind of rewind a little bit on some of the things that I did wrong. And this was the point of me making this video, was to try to, save you guys from any mistakes and maybe save you a little bit of money and time. So the first thing, I am no electrician by any means, but I had thought that by going in and doing one 12-volt source for all the components, I would save a lot of wiring. It'd just be a lot cleaner. So I just had a 12-volt transformer that I had sitting around, and so I cut the ends and wired everything up. Unfortunately, it was a 12-volt, I think 1.5 amp source. I don't know exactly what happened, but I think that transformer fried, and causing my motor to fry. And so, rule number one, I tried to go save a little bit of money by using my own power source. Don't do that. Go ahead and I think it's $25 more. You can get a 12-volt, 5-amp power source from fightprops, and that's plenty enough power to power pretty much everything here. So that was my first mistake. My second mistake was I wired up the speakers underneath the chair in that same power grid. I had one source in to power everything. What the mistake was that when the motor ran, the high torque motor, it would cause an interference to come through the speakers. So right now, and I'll show you my final setup, I'm going to use an external source for my speakers. I'm going to run a line out to a more powerful amplifier, which is going to run, since I have the Bluetooths, I can run ambient sound, and whenever the Bluetooth is triggered, it'll run just the skeleton. So I'll show you that in a little bit later. But those are the two things I wanted to really warn you about. Definitely, when you buy the fightprops motor, just go ahead and pay the $25 to get their transformer. Yeah, I learned that out the hard way. So, more to come. We should be finishing this up real soon.